Okay, there's a couple of things that I wanted to show everybody on changing your GranTurmiso Sport brakes. These are the things that I used. Wire wheel to clean up where the axle or the wheel mounts to, impact, dead blow, a couple of other tools needed. That's important, that drift to get the pin out. Breaker bar and 22-inch or 22 millimeter socket. I was hoping to buy that nice alloy one with plastic cover, but I got that at Home Depot and it works. And I put some, as you can see, I put some duct tape around it so it doesn't ruin the wheels. One thing that I do want to show you is that everything's been tightened and I'm finally releasing it. And I jacked it up where everybody tells you to jack up a GranTurmiso Maserati. But what I bought was this. This came in really handy. This fits perfectly into the little hole, and it is meant for a Tesla. And I bought it on eBay for 20 bucks. I wish I would have bought all four, but it fits perfect on a Harbor Freight jack. So that's a tip if you're going to be replacing your brakes on a GranTurmiso Sport 2015. So this is what I mentioned about putting in the bolt. You put in the bottom pin not all the way tight, but across. The bolt is installed with that 13 millimeter, and you can take your spring, slide it in like that, and then when you install the top pin, you have to put a lot of pressure on it. But you can, before you put it all together, you can make sure that these ears are seated against the pads and this is centered. One thing that you have to watch out is that it has to be centered. It can sometimes be off a little bit or off this way. So it's always good to test fit it before you tighten down everything. So something that I wanted to show everybody is basically what I've done is take that wire wheel and I've cleaned out where the lug nuts go just to make sure it seats perfectly the wheel. But the other interesting thing is the wheel sensor was on the driver's side front, and this was where the wheel sensor was, brake sensor was located, and you can really see how thin it was before it started to really, I don't know if you can see that, before it really started to squeal. It didn't set the sensor off, but I started to get that warning of the squealing when when you're applying the brakes, and it's basically telling you that your brakes need to be changed soon. And I was told that by the Maserati Ferrari dealership. They did that measurement on the side here that shows the thickness, but you can see that I don't know if you can see it, but the thickness wasn't a lot there, so I'm glad I'm replacing the brakes. So if you start to hear the squealing, you're pretty much very close, but to having to replace the brakes to the point where if you're going to be doing any heavy driving and braking, that the brakes should be replaced. But the warning sensor light did not come on. That was just the point, that you have a little bit of life, but not a lot in your brakes before you have to replace them.